Are we live? Ooh. Let's see. Let's see. Questions will show up here. Hello. How are you? Hello, CY_Scorpio 17. How you guys doing? My name is Victoria. I'm a chef and I'm an author. I'm taking over the live today to talk about a little project I've been working on. Happy you guys are here. Let's see. I'm not usually an IG liver, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Hello, Mr. Bowtie Bandit. How you guys doing? I'm gonna play some music. What are you guys up to tonight? Is my phone good and charged? Well, if you're just joining in, my name is Victoria. I am a chef and an author, and I am just releasing my first book today. Definitely kind of nervous to be on live with you guys, but we'll get through it. Hello, Armani J. How are you? Well, I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm 25. I'm currently in Illinois for the summer, but I live in Los Angeles, and I've lived there for the last 6 years. I came to Los Angeles to go to Le Cordon Bleu in Pasadena in 2014, and that's where I got my formal chef education. My first job was in Atlanta, Georgia, though, in a confectionery at Atlantic Station. It was called Kilwin's. One of my best friends worked there, and I went to see her. I'll comment really out loud. Oh, I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. But yeah, my first job was in Atlanta, Georgia. It was at a spot called Kilwin's. I started off scooping ice cream, and then the owner taught me how to make caramel and how to temper chocolate and make all these cool confectionery pastry type things, and that's where my initial culinary passion started, professionally anyways. But since time, after graduating school, I've definitely worked in the industry, opening restaurants, and the whole time I have been plant-based. While I was in school, it's a French school, so I was eating, milk and eggs and butter and different things like that. But I always tried to be plant-based. So this book that I wrote, when I got to California, I was 19. I was actually talking to my grandmother about this the other day, and I was like, gosh, how much money did I leave with? I think it might have been like $400 or something. And she was like, no, it was $300. you left with $300, a suitcase, and no job. So when I got to California, I was a broke, busy vegan, and that is the title of my book. So typically on a day, I had school Monday through Friday. I would get up at 5 a.m. and I would make my breakfast and I'd make my breakfast and my lunch. I did eventually find a job. I found 2 jobs, and I would have 2 changes of clothes. So I'd get up at 5 a.m. I'd walk to school or ride my bike when I did get a bike, and have all of these things and changes of clothes throughout the day. And I had class from 6 a.m. to, I'm from Africa. Hello, Africa. I would have class from 6 to 10 a.m. And then I would, eat one of my lunches and change clothes and go to my first job. I was a hostess at McCormick and Schmick's in Pasadena. And then I was there for the lunch service from like 11 to 2. And after that, I would change clothes again for my second job, which was a work study position at the Boys and Girls Club. So I would, help kids and make them lunch and talk about food and what have you. And by the time that 7 o'clock pulled around, I would get on the bus and it would take me all the way back home. And then I'd make dinner. And I'd usually set some of what I made for dinner aside for lunch the next day. And then it was rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I was probably making like $200 or $300 a week. And a couple of years ago, I decided to actually write some of the things down that I was eating at the time. And so that's where this concept of broke, busy, vegan came up. I get a lot of people asking me like, hey, hi Keisha Nicole. I get a lot of people asking me like, hey girl, like I want to eat healthier. I want to know about how to eat plant-based. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't know the recipes. I don't have a knife or what have you. And so I wanted to take the time to write down what I did, because I know that the position that I was in at that time is a position that a lot of people are in. They want to eat healthier, but maybe they don't have the time, or maybe that they don't know how to cook, or they're super busy, or they think that eating plant-based is going to cost them an arm and a leg, which in my experience, especially in California with the super affordable produce, it's not that bad. So gosh, that's where the book concept came up, and it's gonna be one of many. But Broke Busy Vegan is about a period in my life where I had a lot to do. I didn't have very much income, but I still wanted to, eat right. I'm super passionate about making sure that I share the things that I know about food and about health. And I'm actually, hello, my victory lap. I'm actually studying nutrition now, and just getting into all of the cool biochemic things and how food affects your body. And it's really interesting to me. I love it. And just pairing those two things, my knowledge of food and now my knowledge of food science, and just coming up with fun recipes and, for the culture too. I want to do a vegan soul food cookbook, but I'm definitely super passionate about coming up with recipes that taste good, are easy to cook, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to make, because nobody really has time for that. But specifically for the taste good, I think one of the issues that people have when they're trying to eat healthier is that they think it's going to taste too healthy, or I'm not sure what. They think it's going to taste nasty. There's just like this misconception that plant-based food is nasty. And I don't eat nasty food. I can't stand it. I don't want to buy nasty food. I don't want to sit down at somebody's table and eat nasty food. Like, what's the point, you know? So, my recipes, I trust. My little sister complimented me one time and she was just like, you make food that, what did she say? She was just like, when you make food, it feels like the food that I thought I wanted to eat. And so I always try to keep that in mind when I'm cooking. I don't use a lot of salt. I just try to make the simplest, freshest, best tasting food possible. You know, it doesn't have to be that complicated. It really doesn't. So my recipes are as simple as possible. These particular recipes do have some of those like meat substitute, you know, like Gardein and the meatballs and different things like that. And you can add chicken strips. I don't necessarily eat them that much now, but I think when you're transitioning, it definitely helps to have those options to make meals that are more comfortable for the things that you're used to. But it's got recipes like stuffed zucchini boats. It's got a spicy cashew salad, a savory breakfast skillet, loaded oatmeal. Gosh, what else? There's some smoothie recipes in there. There is tacos. There is lettuce wraps. It's got 18 recipes with beautiful pictures. And gosh, I wrote it 2 years ago and I'm so happy that I was able to finally get it out to everybody. And it's a nice piece of work. It's a nice piece of work. I'm definitely very happy. Question. Favorite meal you've ever had that you didn't cook? Gosh, what's that gonna have to be? It's gonna have to be Ethiopian food. I didn't make it myself. It was at a restaurant. There is a vegan restaurant, a vegan Ethiopian restaurant in Little Ethiopia off of Fairfax. But I think Ethiopian food is one of my favorites because it's shareable. It's, for the most part, gluten-free. And it's an unusual cuisine if you're not used to it. But I like all the flavors and the spices and the sours of the injera. But if not that, gosh, I don't eat it anymore, but my mom's macaroni and cheese is pretty daggone good. Get some water. Where are you guys from? My victory lap, where are you from? I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I was born in St. Louis, but I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been in California for the last 6+ years. Definitely love it out there. But if anybody just joined in, my name is Victoria Mikell. I am a chef and an author. Who's in here? LA born and raised. Hey, my Midwestern family is from St. Louis. Actually in Missouri as we speak. I am in, where am I at? I'm in Washington, Illinois, so not too far. I just got back from Chicago like 20 minutes ago, so I was like, gotta get ready real quick. Hello, Just CC. How you doing? For anybody who just came in, my name is Victoria. I'm a chef, and I'm talking about my first cookbook. It's called Broke Busy Vegan, and it is for anyone who wants to eat healthy on a budget and doesn't have the time to go to the grocery store and cook and do all those things every single day. I've got some ways to cut the time. My name is Victoria also, by the way. Okay. Okay. We love it. But this book is about and for anyone who's trying to eat healthier and doesn't necessarily have the time for it. LA born and raised. What's your favorite vegan ice cream? Ooh, if you're in Los Angeles, Magpies is my favorite. Magpies is in Tarzana and it's in not Sherman Oaks. What's that city? Silver Lake. But they're really good. They'll do things like they have a flavor called birthday cake, and they'll actually bake a cake and they'll blend it into whatever their ice cream base is. So it's really good. My favorite flavor of ice cream in general, though, is going to be mint chocolate chip, probably followed by strawberry cheesecake, both of which you can find vegan at Whole Foods. Of course, for like $7 a tub. Hello. We love it. You guys have any questions for me? Do any of you guys eat plant-based? Staying healthy? Always. Strawberry cheesecake ice cream hits different, especially in a waffle cone.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Evan, how are you?
Hey, everybody. I want to introduce you on my end from Young Bold and Regal Studios. You see my mood board in the back. You see my perfect lighting. You see my quarantine beard, looking like Tom Hanks out of
Yes.
Castaway, right?
We love a quarantine beard.
So today we're here with the amazing, the incredible Victoria. She has a great cookbook coming out called Broke Busy Vegan. She's an amazing chef. She's an amazing author. She's amazing at a lot of other things, but I'll let her speak on it.
Yeah.
To introduce you guys to how I met her, I went to a fashion capsule event, essentially a smaller version of a fashion show. I saw her, introduced myself, asked her what she's passionate about. She immediately talked about her cooking repertoire.
Repertoire.
Because when you meet some people, sometimes they're just dabbling, and then sometimes you meet people that are not only passionate, they have a history of what they're doing, which is really incredible, really amazing. And she told me her story. She told me her full journey, and she's giving you guys here a sneak peek. So yeah, thank you for taking over the Young Bold and Regal Live.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, for sure. So let me. I'll just call Michael. I usually try to call people by their Instagram name, but my friend Michael, yes, you do have to try her cooking.
It's the best.
I'm sure it's really good. I unfortunately haven't had a chance to have it, but next time we bring her on, we'll do a cooking session where I'll just slightly chop something up because I don't want to burn the kitchen down, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But thank you for joining us. I also wanted to ask you, what has been the most unexpected thing you've cooked during this quarantine time? Something that you tried something new and you're like, this is pretty bomb.
Gosh, what did I do? I made some. I'm not necessarily gluten-free, but I end up eating a lot of gluten-free things just because I'm not out here eating sandwiches and pizza and
Hey,
things
I
like
feel
that.
attacked.
Look. No shade, no shade. But I make avocado toast on rice crackers pretty often. And
okay.
It's kind of been a hit. Like a couple of people have tried and been like, girl,
Yeah.
good. So Instead of using bread, you just grab a rice cracker. The tomato basil ones are really good if you like that
Oh
flavor.
yeah.
A plain
Mm-hmm.
one is fine as well. And avocado, Fresno chilies, everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's simple, it's super inexpensive, it's fast, you don't have to burn the toast, and it's
Mm-hmm.
crunchy. It's crunchier
Nice.
than toast.
Like
I,
a nice little snack. So, but
uh-huh,
besides something really heavy before a movie, right? You're
uh-huh.
watching your 100th movie on your 100th day of quarantine. I don't have any experience with that at all, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
You can have a nice light snack, right?
Yes, it's good.
Right.
I mean, any time of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have it on a hike. You can just like bring a sleeve of them, bring an
Mm-hmm.
avocado, bring the seasoning. It's something that you can take anywhere. It's super fast.
Talking about a hit, we were snooping on your Instagram story, and a
Hmm.
lot of your friends brag about your vegan cake. Am I
Oh,
correct?
yes, 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 yes.
Even to the point where they literally call in you for help. They're like, please help us. We need a vegan cake. Tell
Yes,
me
yes.
more about that because I love my sweets sparingly, right? But
Hmm.
when it comes to my birthday, when it comes to celebrating anything, right after the happy birthday and this, I need some
Some
sweets.
sweets.
So
Okay,
what
so
so what makes your vegan cake special? And is there something in there in the book you're bringing out now, or maybe a book in the future where you can expand on that?
so not in this book yet. I'm gonna have to do an entirely different
Yes.
pastry book because what I went to school for was pastry,
Mm-hmm.
and my uh, nutrition company is called Be Well Nutrition, but its predecessor is Be Kind Cakes.
Mm-hmm.
And Be Kind Cakes is what I was able to do with my traditional French education.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing, you know, all types of traditional French cakes. And what I was able to do while I was in school is take these recipes and kind of convert them and switch out ingredients and test out different things so that while it would typically be bomb, but have all this extra other stuff in it,
Mm-hmm.
I just swap some ingredients, whether it be, you know, chia seed, flaxseed, banana, avocado. There's a lot of different things that you can use um, to come out with some, you know, bomb plant-based sweets. Sweets are
Nice.
hard enough as they are.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I love my cake. So
yes, and my
that's
friends, gosh, I mean, there's some good plant-based bakers in Los Angeles, but nobody makes the cakes like me. They
yeah,
can't.
there we go.
They
So
can't.
when you need your vegan cake, which is
Hmm.
probably all the time because it's better, healthier alternative. And
Hmm.
matter of fact, she might just do a test where she gives you a cake that's full of sweets and stuff
Hmm.
you don't need, and her vegan cake, and you guys be the judge of it, right? But when
Yep.
you need it, make sure to go to her. Don't flood her timeline now. People are
Hmm.
busy, but we ain't trying to be that busy. But
Yes.
we're definitely not about we're definitely not about overeating or
Yeah.
eating unhealthy. I heard somebody the other day, they said that they love black owned businesses, they love
Hmm.
black soul food spaces, right?
Right.
But
Right.
they do say a lot of the food throughout the generations have been typically heavy, and they're looking for more vegan on all
Yeah.
and an alternative solution. How
Yeah.
did you come to that path? You probably told our audience beforehand,
Yeah.
but how did you come to that path as far as that realization? I need to eat better. I need to cook better, and
Yeah.
making your broke, busy life
Yeah.
become a vegan and rich life, rich in
Yes.
life, right?
Yes. So my plant-based journey started when I was actually 14. I was a freshman in high school. Super early. Everyone was like, "Girl, what do you mean plant?" I actually tried it when I was in fourth grade and I ate carrots for a whole day and I was like, "Oh, that's out. I can't deal with this. I'm gonna pass out." So I revisited it a few years later in ninth grade. I think I just saw this like video of a cow being slaughtered on Facebook and I was like, that's a wrap.
Wow.
I'm not into it. It's not for
Yeah.
me. it was traumatic.
Reading Upton Sinclair's the Jungle, not a good idea, guys.
Not for me. It wasn't for me. So I mean, it took me a long time to get where I am. Hold on, someone's about to die. Okay,
All right, guys. Just introduce you guys again. Once again, we were with Victoria. She's away from the camera shortly, but she's an author and she's a chef, and she's telling us her vegan journey. The reason why she's telling us the journey is because some people can't afford to go vegan as much as they think, right? But your book breaks it down to us that yes, you can go vegan on a budget, or you can be vegan in your own way. So go ahead and speak on that.
So it's definitely been a journey. Initially, I saw the cow and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not eating any more cows. So I cut out red meat. And then a few months later, it was chicken, like cut out poultry. And then I cut out fish, and I was vegetarian. I didn't cut out cheese until after culinary school.
Let me pause you real quick. Shout out to Nick the Ear. That's my guy, Nick. He's super into fitness. Yeah. One of the funniest guys I know. He'll definitely tune into this even more because he works out all the time. I'm sure there's something vegan in his diet. But yeah. Proceed.
We love it. So I was vegetarian for many a years, and vegetarian all the way through culinary school. And honestly, what made me go vegan is I don't like mucus. I think there's a lot of things that happen with mucus. A lot of germs get attached, a lot of sickness attaches to mucus and different things like that. So I just wanted to clear my body of mucus, and that's what made me want to go vegan. And even a step further is plant-based. There's a lot of different definitions and things you can throw around about how you can eat and what makes you feel most comfortable. But it's a transition, and I'm never the type of healthy eater that tries to beat it down your throat like you have to eat this way.
Yes.
Whatever you can afford, whatever makes your body feel good, whatever you can get to in the moment as you progress. It's a journey. If you want to do it cold turkey, fine. But it took me about 10 years to get where I am.
Dang.
And it feels great now, and I can give you all the keys to do it faster from my mistakes. But I'm never the type of plant-based eater. Vegan is hard. LOL. Can't give up.
Yeah. Well,
say that now.
Right. So shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy Akeem. He's an amazing actor. And just a little fun fact, Akeem. Cam Newton. I don't know when he did it, but maybe you've heard it, Victoria. Cam Newton, who's now signed to the Patriots, interestingly enough. I think he went vegan for a time. He said it was an adjustment, especially as an athlete, burning all those calories, but he did it. But tell me, what are maybe the top 3 or top 5 or anything that comes to mind, what you feel is the difference in maybe exercise and your fitness, maybe your endurance level, anything. What is the biggest improvement of being vegan has come to your life since going along this journey?
So there's a few, not in any particular order. My skin has definitely gotten clearer.
Yeah.
I used to have like crazy acne, and I used to have like this rash on my back. And I think once I started just cleaning inside out, my skin got a lot clearer. This is not necessarily something physical, but when you're going through the journey of being more conscious about the things that you put in your body, all sorts of things, music, energy, people, food, beverages.
Speak on it. There we go.
You just become more conscious about the things that you're taking in. And so once I started to become more conscious about what I was choosing to eat, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be more conscious about the people I'm hanging around. Maybe I'll be more conscious about the music that I'm listening to and the drinks that I'm drinking. and the time that I'm spending in these places and so forth. So once you start taking care of you in one way, for me anyways, I became a lot more aware of the the other ways that I can continue to take care of myself. And then I think that the third benefit would have to be, I think how it brings everybody together. The surprise on
Mm.
people's faces when they're eating
Yeah.
something good and they're like, "Ooh, I
Yeah.
like this. This is plants." Like I put that, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you saw my story, I put chicken a Asian chicken salad and it had broccoli and celery and romaine
Okay.
with some store-bought lettuce
Yeah.
and Mr. Can't Give Up Chicken, some vegan chicken.
Come on, Akeem. You can do it, Akeem. Come on, man. You want to get those rolls, man? You gotta go vegan, man. I need to see you in a vegan commercial this year, boy.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then shout out to Madison Elaine. She's a great photographer, filmmaker, documentarian. I'm not sure about her vegan journey, but I do know she does eat healthy, so she's definitely tuned into this, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And you know, this particular book is about eating vegan. But I say plant-based, which is definitely different. You know, vegan can include, you know, French fries and ice cream and chips and all
Yes,
sorts of things. And so
exactly. Now you're
I
talking my language. I was kidding.
so I want to be clear though, like I eat plant-based, which means I'm not necessarily going for those processed foods. If when
Mm-hmm.
you're I'm going to do another live in a few weeks about grocery shopping, but one thing I always tell people when they're starting is shop on the perimeter of the store. You've got your produce, you've got your proteins, you've got your, you know, milk, butter, almond milk, dairy,
Mm-hmm.
like that. Anything in the middle is processed. You got the only thing I go in the middle for is legumes, pastas, maybe some tomato sauces and
Mm-hmm.
different things like that. But you want to stay away from your crackers and your chips. And I mean, not all of the time. Nobody's going to
Yeah.
eat perfect. But
Mm-hmm.
if you shop on the perimeter of the store, you're going to be in line with eating the things that are good for your body because they're going to be fresh. You know, I eat I don't eat meat. But again, like I said, I don't, you know, condemn anyone, but it's like, are you gonna eat this, you know, 2.99 pack of chicken? Or are you gonna go get the hormone free, you know, cage free, you know, if you're gonna eat it, eat the
Yeah.
good stuff, you know, don't be out here
Mm-hmm.
eating that mess, you know, don't do that, don't do that.
We'll break it down. Break it down why, you know, it's not good to eat some of those processed foods, you know. Some break it down to your education
Hmm.
of what the food is, you know, because it's the summertime, you know, restaurants are closing down more, people are ordering more takeout,
Hmm.
people are, you know, cooking their own foods, getting a lot of processed foods
Hmm.
along with the factory meat.
Factory
Madison
meats.
is
Yeah.
right. So
We're
break it down to us. What are these specific foods that you're talking about, and what are some alternatives that we can eat instead?
Gotcha. So processed foods is going to be anything like, gosh, cereals, chips, crackers. And it's not like these things are like awful for you all the time. Like if you're making guacamole, you're going to eat it on some chips.
Mm-hmm.
But an alternative for, let's say, hummus, you can do hummus and carrot sticks and actually hummus with sliced peaches and sliced apples. That will change your life.
Hey, we'll have
You'll
to
feel
try
real
that one.
classy. You'll feel real classy. um, just different swaps like that for sure. But when you eat processed food, what ends up happening is your body has a hard time
Mm.
processing it. You're gonna get through, it's gonna go through your intestines and it's just gonna have a hard time because the more that you break down food, and that's basically what processed food means, is how
Mm-hmm.
many times is it broken down from its original form?
Yep.
How many times is this cracker going from, you know, the wheat kernel to the flour to the oven to the so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what processed food means. And the more processed it is, the harder it is for your body to digest. And so if you want to, you know, have an easier time with your digestion,
Mm-hmm.
um, you want to stay away from those things. You want to eat things that are organic, things that are coming out of the ground, things that are fresh and
Mm.
alive and electric, because those are the things that your body wants. It's
Yeah.
going to grab those nutrients that are readily available. A lot of those processed foods don't even have nutrients.
Yeah.
Sometimes they add things back in, fortify them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not good for you. So
So break it down to us as far as when it comes to your fitness, your exercising. How did your how did your uh diet, or actually how did your vegan way of life do well with your fitness? What was that journey like?
Okay. So I think that, well, this is a fun fact about me. I used to play football in high school. I don't know if I ever told you
Oh, nice.
that.
Wait, let's
I don't know.
pause everything. Let's pause everything right now. Tell us about that story.
Okay. So I would go to the games and I'd be like, rah, 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 I like it, I like it, I like it, but I have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in science class with my friend Preston, and I was like, kind of interested in learning what's going on the field. And so he was like, oh, well, you should try out. So for
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks before spring training, he like helped me condition, and uh, I showed up to the weight room and coach was like, what are you doing here? And Preston was like, she's here to play, coach. And he was like, all right. And so they put me on corner. I started lifting and I showed up for practices. I didn't
Okay.
actually expect to play, but I stayed for the whole season of my junior year. And that was
That's
the
dope.
beginning. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I made some great friends. I have 64 brothers and 8 dads out of it. Um,
That's dope.
but that was the beginning of my fitness journey. And I don't think I had really pushed myself, physically before that. But once I learned how to work out in that experience, I think that it instilled in me the discipline to, get up and get my body moving. And I think that when I'm eating best, I'm getting up at the same time. I'm going to sleep at the same time. I'm feeling good.
A
I'm looking
routine.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when I'm not on point with what I'm eating,
It's
then
all over the place.
I'm just all messed up in the game, Like
Mm-hmm. Eating
I don't
random
have the,
things like, let me
yeah.
try this out.
And then I'm just laid up in the bed, feeling
Mm-hmm.
lethargic and bloated. No time. So
Right?
I think when I eat best, I'm just like getting it going.
Keeps everything on point.
Mm-hmm. Keeps
I want to
everything.
ask you an interesting question.
Tell me.
What, let's say 5 to 10 people, and couples count as well, right? Shout out to Jada and Will. Like, do not talk bad on the name, right? Black love forever. What 5 to 10 people in the world who are alive today would you want at your dinner party, and what would you cook for them?
Okay. Ellen DeGeneres is number one because I know
Okay.
she
Shout out
didn't.
to
If she,
Ellen.
if she still does it, I know at one point she did eat plant-based.
Mm-hmm.
Um, B and their whole squad and kids, everybody can come over.
Okay, cool. That counts as one because
Right.
it's all connected, right?
Right, right,
We got
right,
a
right,
big
right.
table.
But I'm pretty sure she eats plant-based as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would like Snoop Dogg to be there.
Shout out to Snoop. He does a lot of vegan and CBD
Right,
cooking, right?
with Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart
Yeah.
can come too.
Shout out to Martha Stewart.
There'll be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else would be there? I would love to have the Obamas because I remember when Michelle was first lady, she did an initiative that I don't remember what it was called, but it was about, she had the garden
Mm-hmm.
at the White House and she was passionate. And I read Becoming and it was a wonderful story. But I think at one point, one of the girls was overweight and they ended up having somebody come in and cook for them. And then she
Mm-hmm.
ended up having that same person help her with an initiative while they were at the White House. So Michelle has to be there. Of course, our dear Barack Obama has to come with.
Yep.
Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Well, that's already about 10 people, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You can add a couple of honorable mentions.
An honorable mention. Who would we bring? I'd have to bring Aubrey.
Okay.
Aubrey Graham. And his dad, because
Right.
I know he's gonna be on his list. And
Drake's dad will be having the stories in the back pocket.
I need him at the fireplace after dinner with something. He's gonna
Right.
come with the stories.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, my mom.
Of course.
My mom. My
Now
mom
what?
definitely.
Now what would you cook for them in particular for this festive mood? It's a celebration. They're all coming to your dinner table. They are really hungry and they want to know what you got. What do you got for them?
I got lasagna. I'm not even about to write that recipe down. Y'all can't get that one. Every time I make lasagna, they're like, oh, girl, this is different. I mean, it takes me almost 3 days to make.
Wow.
But I'm making lasagna. I'm going to come with some asparagus and some green beans, probably both lemon pepper.
Uh-huh.
We love a lemon pepper vegetable. And maybe some crostinis. Maybe I'll do a tomato bisque to start.
Uh-huh.
And we'll finish off with one of my favorite cake flavors. It's so many flavors. It doesn't even have a fun name, but it's an olive oil cake that's infused with rosemary and
What?
milk. It's got
What?
lemon curd. It's got a vegan cream cheese schmear, and it's topped with blackberries and fresh thyme. I can't even
What?
I can't even come up with a name for it, but that's what we're gonna have for dessert.
That sounds that sounds pretty that sounds pretty great right now. Why don't you end it right now and go there? No, we're not ending it. I wanted to know, why do you think more people are looking at healthier alternatives to eat? My friend Madison said she's vegan-ish. Other people say, I do a mix of plant-based. Other people say I'm a vegetarian. Other people say they're pescatarian. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many alternatives than what we traditionally think. Why do you think people are going more towards that? I think people are going more towards that in the last 4 to 5 years. But what are your thoughts on it?
I think that especially and this is just a cultural answer, but I think that a lot of African American people are getting back to their roots. And that is a lot of the reason why I choose to eat things like, if you're going out to eat, this is kind of a tangent, but if you go to some place that's a traditional Ethiopian, Mexican, Japanese, Vietnamese, Thai, those cuisines have a lot of plant-based options because traditionally or historically eating meat was for rich people.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a part of a lot of cultures. And so in America, there's this, if you get into any nutrition books, they call it the SAD diet, the standard American diet.
Mm-hmm.
And it has way, way, way too much animal protein in it. And I think once you start to get exposed to different things, and there's a lot more information, there's a lot of misinformation too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that people are interested in, I'll put it to you this way. It's like, some people say they die for their kids, but would you live for them?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make the choices that are going to put you in a position to be around and available and have energy? Are you going to be the dad at 60 years old sitting in the lazy boy, can't do anything? Or are you playing with your grandkids? It's these types of choices that people are being made more aware of, that they are actually in control and they can make these small changes at 40 or 20 or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
that will, you know, increase the quality of their life. I think people are actually being more cognizant about the things that they put in their body and that they can control how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
But before you're exposed to the fact that you can control how you feel with what you eat, I think it's just something that you have to be exposed to. So.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty great. We like to hear that, and I feel like acceptance is everywhere. If you want to start
Yeah,
slowly or dive right in, like you said,
yeah,
broke busy vegan can be your
yes,
guide
yes, yes, yes.
to the other side. We won't say better side, even though we know it is, but to the to the other side
Right, to the other
of
side.
eating healthy. What do you think is something somebody could start doing this evening to eat healthy? Maybe they're preparing a meal, or maybe they're still hungry on your side of the coast,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
they want to cook something or get something or order something. What do you think is something that's simple that they could do?
Okay, so one of the quickest things that I usually do, I suck at making rice. So what I end up doing is getting like brown rice and quinoa that I can
Uh-huh.
like cook in the bag, and I know how to make it, but it's not always convenient to sit there and wait 30 minutes
Uh-huh.
for the quinoa and the brown rice to get done. So I'll do that. I'll pop a sweet potato in the oven, and then I'll do some sort of green vegetable, usually green beans. Um, Maybe do uh, garlic, fresh garlic, like garlic, granulated garlic, fresh
Uh-huh.
garlic, um, a little earth balance butter, salt, pepper, and then hit it with slivered almonds, and then an avocado. Simple. You can put some everything but the bagel seasoning on it. But that's a super quick, healthy meal that I would make. It's got some great superfoods like sweet potato and avocado in it. You've got your greens. Um, and you've got some protein with the brown rice and quinoa. So I think one of those things we all grow up seeing is my plate.
Uh-huh.
And my plate, when you're plant based, definitely looks different. You still need your protein,
Uh-huh.
but there's a lot of different ways that you can get protein, and that's one of the things that I get a lot is like, okay, but where do you get your protein? Okay,
Yeah.
well, where do you get your zinc, sis? Like, okay, where your vitamins at?
Yeah. Uh,
You know, like, are
uh-huh.
you actually? People are so worried about protein, um, but like brown rice and broccoli combined, uh, beans and rice combined.
Uh-huh.
Quinoa by itself is a complete protein, and if you're not familiar with that term, it just means that whatever it is has all the amino acids in it, the essential amino acids in it that your body needs. And the reason why protein is important is because your DNA is made up of it. All sorts of things are made up of protein.
Uh-huh.
So it's important that you get all your amino acids because your body is going to create some, but some of them you have to eat in order to make sure that you have enough protein. And so certain things have protein in them, like
Uh-huh.
brown rice by itself, but until you combine it with a bean or a broccoli, you get all of those 9 essential ones that your body doesn't create. And so once you start getting educated about different things like that, you can start making quick choices at the grocery store. Like, let me make sure I have some beans always. Let me make sure I have some rice always. Let me grab some vegetables, figure out a few sauces. You want to have your superfoods like your sweet potatoes and your avocados. I love
Uh-huh.
avocados. Lime water in the morning. You know, once you start understanding just the fundamentals of how your body works and what it needs, it kind of just becomes simple. You don't
Uh-huh.
have to think about it. You can just start mixing and matching things. And I like a Buddha bowl. It's, a grain, it's a vegetable, it's a starch, it's
Uh-huh.
a green usually, and a sauce. Maybe you've got something crunchy in there like nuts or seeds or something like that. But the Buddha bowl standard is something that you can mix and match. Chipotle, they're burrito bowls, technically a Buddha bowl. That is something that has everything that you need in it. It's
Uh-huh.
not necessarily always the healthiest, depending on what you put in it, but stuff like that is something that you can, kind of wrap your mind around and make food a little bit simpler.
When it comes to your book, obviously the message of eating healthier is the top priority. But what else do you want people to get from your book and get from the title. I love the title of it because, like you said earlier, there's a misconception that
Yeah.
vegan food is crazy expensive. But my
Yeah.
my thing is, there's a lot of foods and there's a lot of restaurants and there's a lot of places that are really expensive, but there are
Mhm.
healthier and cheaper alternatives. Doesn't mean cheaper quality. It just means you just get it straight from the store instead of
Yeah.
ordering it out.
Yeah. And I'll speak on eating out. Like, there's actually a section in the book about eating out and like, you know, where you should, and based on different cuisines, some questions that you might want to ask because of, like, for example, if you go to a traditional Mexican restaurant, Mexican food is my favorite. I always feel full. It's really satisfying, and I know that it's got all the things that I need in it. A taco, love it. I live for it. But if I'm at a traditional place, I know to ask if the beans are made with lard or if the rice is made with chicken stock. So there's some tips in there about eating out.
Mhm.
um, Gosh, what was the question though?
it,
I forgot. I
it, was,
lost the
it, was,
question.
it was a pretty long intro, but what is the message you want people to get overall when they
Read the book.
pick up your book, read your book,
Hmm.
tune into any future lives that you have?
That it's not that hard. It really isn't. I kind of started talking about it at the beginning, but I was 19 by myself, completely responsible for myself financially, transportation, everything that I had to get on my own, um, including, time management and what I chose to eat. So all of these choices that I made, I kind of wrote down, I put in this book. And if a 19-year-old kid in the middle of Los Angeles can do it by themselves with no money, dude, let me tell you, the grocery store was maybe 2 blocks away, and it was a food for less. Not the best grocery store, um, from this one place that I was living. And I would have to, like, I think I used to spend like $25 a week on groceries.
Wow, that's very very little.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's very little.
It is very low. I wasn't making any money. That's what I had. That's what I had. That's what I had to work out. And so if I didn't die spending $25 a week on groceries and, walking my 2.5 blocks there and 2.5 blocks back with as much groceries as I can carry in my hand, it can be done. It can absolutely be done. I mean, I didn't get a car until 2.5 years until I was in California.
Wow.
You know, occasionally, friends would let me borrow their cars to like go do whatever I needed to do. But
Hmm.
I think I got a bike maybe 9, 10 months into moving to California, and that was helpful
Dang.
because I could put my groceries like on
Yeah. It.
handlebars.
Hmm.
But everything that I did it for dirt cheap, and I was able to still, maintain my lifestyle.
Hmm.
So I think what I want people to get out of it is that I was able to do it with nothing. And now I'm in a place where I can make more fun things and,
Hmm.
get into more expensive and complicated recipes. But for someone who is, busy, a student, a mom, they have to make all these sorts of things, and life is just busy.
Hmm.
I want people to know that it can be done. It doesn't have to take forever. It doesn't have to feel like, you know, you're screwing up because you're not eating perfectly. You're not going to eat perfect every week. You're
Hmm.
not. You're not. Stop it. I don't eat perfect every week.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like a lot of people equate the vegan lifestyle or plant-based lifestyle with something that's rudimentary, that you have to be like a drill sergeant to yourself in your own life. But
Hmm.
it's about having fun, extending your life,
Yeah.
having a longer life with
Yeah.
healthier choices, with
Hmm.
amazing plant-based and vegan food. That
Hmm.
is incredible. Shout out to the Eat, Drink, Vegan Food Festival they would have every year at the Rose Bowl. The first
Yeah.
time I went there, I drank vegan
Mind
beer.
blowing.
I drank I mean, I ate vegan food. It
Mm-hmm.
was amazing. It was any word to the wise of if this stuff is good or not.
Yeah, it's amazing. It can be done. It can absolutely be done. But yeah, I mean, don't pressure yourselves. I mean, I don't eat perfect every week. I eat perfect most of the time.
Uh-huh.
Eat, here's my thing. Eat good most of the time. Eat good
Right?
most of the time.
Eat good most of the time. I dig it. I like
Eat good most
it.
of the time.
Where can people find your book, and tell us about your website recently that you launched as well?
So as of right now, you can find my website on my Instagram. It's in my bio, Victoria Mikell. It's spelled Mikell. But yes, I just recently launched my website. It took me about a year
Yeah.
to do.
Hey,
I
however
got it
long it
done
takes,
though.
you got it done.
You know, it takes some time when you do it right. Also, when you do
Yep.
it by yourself. But
Well, we're gonna help her with that. We're gonna buy her book so she
yes.
doesn't have to do it by herself. We're gonna join in on her cooking sessions. But once again, where can people find the book as well?
So the website is called bewellnutrition.health. You can find it there. It's going to be on the main page. It's an ebook, so I would recommend downloading it on a desktop. Um, just easier. You can see it bigger, better on a desktop. But you can find it directly at bewellnutrition.health or from my Instagram, Victoria Mikell, either one. And it's got the ebook. It has got a plant-based cereal on it. It's got some nice kitchen gadgets like an avocado scooper and a pineapple slicer. And eventually I'm going to start offering personal nutrition counseling. But that's what I've got
That's
now.
that's really important, and I have to overstress this point. This is her own book on her own website.
Yes.
So whatever partnerships besides, she doesn't have to share that revenue. So I encourage everybody, build your own website so the revenue can come to you. And the
Yes.
reason why that's important in all areas, when it comes to your music, when it comes to your content creator, my content, is that when I put it up on my website, I have ownership of it as
Yes.
well, right?
Yes.
Or I have total ownership of it, along
Mhm.
with any partnerships that come in. So that's incredibly important. We
Yes.
are over stressing
Yes.
that.
I mean, and it was a lot of work. I think I actually applied for my LLC. I think I called my lawyer probably around this time last year, finally
Uh-huh.
applied for it in August. And so a full calendar year later, thank God for quarantine, I was able to finally put everything together. I mean, quarantine saved my life. I know it hasn't been the best for everyone, and I know there's been a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on, but I'm thankful. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's allowing people to refocus
hmm
in different ways. I've definitely refocused in on my dedication for Young, Bold, and Regal, refocused in other areas of my life, reading a lot more,
yes,
eating a lot more healthier.
yes,
And conversations with you over this period of time have been pretty great about what does it mean to eat healthy? What does it mean to eat on a budget when it comes to eating healthy? I think a lot of people struggle with that for the simple fact that they just think they can't do it. But your book, along with a lot of many other books, but I'll say I like your book the best, all right? Because it's new, it's
yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
You can get it online.
hmm
You can get it quickly, and
Yes,
you can get it done quickly. You could read your book and 5 minutes later,
mhm.
boom, create a meal for yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like to keep things simple.
There we go. So I'm gonna wish you guys goodbye. You'll see a little bit more of her taking over the Young, Bold, and Regal Live. But to all my people, make sure to follow immediately right now. Check out Young, Bold, and Regal. Make sure
Yes.
to um, like everything on the page. Make sure to especially keep up with her. And I'll bid you guys adieu. See you guys later.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.